A reading from the first letter of St. Paul to the Corinthians. Brothers and sisters, we speak a wisdom to those who are mature, not a wisdom of this age, nor of the rulers of this age, who are passing away. Rather, we speak God's wisdom, mysterious, hidden, which God predetermined before the ages for our glory, and which none of the rulers of this age knew. For if they had known it, they would not have crucified the Lord of glory. But as it is written, what eye has not seen and ear has not heard, and what has not entered the human heart, what God has prepared for those who love him. This God has revealed to us through the Spirit. For the Spirit scrutinizes everything, even the depths of God. The word of the Lord.
Thanks be to God.
What is the wisdom of this age? Well, I'm going to propose that we parse it out by looking at the proposition that Sirach gave us in the first reading today, which goes like this. Before you are life and death. Whichever you choose shall be given to you. Seems like a simple enough proposition until we watch Braveheart and hear that magnificent line, every man dies, but not every man truly lives. This should give us pause in responding uncritically to Sirach's proposition. So I'd like to paint for you two portraits of life. And the first I'll call the wisdom of this age. And this is life as self-preservation, as a seeking out of self-comfort, for which the only purpose in elongating this life would be further opportunities for self-comfort. These are the rules of this approach by age. At 5 years old, don't talk to strangers. At 15 years old, dismiss the wisdom of your elders. Have it your own way. At 25 years old, we find life consumed by ambition, so that everything is a competition with all the other faces at work, all the other faces at the gym, all of our neighbors, a sort of keeping up with the Joneses. I'm going to presume to talk about 50 years old. So many at this age experience midlife crises, marked by frantic attempts to recover lost youth, to make up for failed marriages by throwing caution to the wind and filling out bucket lists. At 75, in the face of continuing diminishment, comfort becomes more and more fleeting, and one might be led to ask, what is there left for me to do? What possible purpose do I have in the sunset of my life? Unfortunately, the increasing imminence of that specter of mortality, known as death, casts a false shadow of futility over these so-called waning years, which some nations have chosen to waste by implementing programs of euthanasia. This is the wisdom of this age, and there is a natural logic to it. However, I put before you a second kind of life, one which is founded on the maxim, whoever wishes to save his life will lose it, but whoever loses his life will save it. This is the mysterious wisdom about which Paul talks, the message of the cross, which turns the wisdom of this age squarely on its head. A way of life which takes seriously Christ's mandate, be perfect, just as your heavenly Father is perfect. How? Talk to strangers, even befriend them. Seek the wisdom of the elders, the saints, whose perspicacity into the supernatural purpose of life directs our focus beyond the horizon of this life into eternity. No longer is it the rule, whoever dies with the most toys wins, but rather, go, sell what you have and give it to the poor, and you will have treasure in heaven. Then come and follow me. And finally, cast off the illusory groping for eternal youth and embrace the power made perfect in weakness. This second approach to life is admittedly counterintuitive. Yet it is a life of the truest grandeur, a supernatural life poured out for God and neighbor, a life truly lived, as William Wallace might say. Such a life is made coherent by faith in Jesus Christ, whose resurrection is the testimony to its sure reward, both in this life as well as the next. As it is written, what eye has not seen and ear not heard, what God has prepared for those who love him.